everyone, my name's Christy. Welcome to my corner. Thank you so much for joining me today for Flosstube 44, I think. If it's not 44, it'll be correct in the title. I should have looked, especially since this is my second take. I had time to look. This is not my normal filming time. This is actually Saturday morning, which is not usual for me, but there are reasons which I'll get into. Nothing bad, just reasons. And I have coffee here. I hope that's okay. I don't plan on sipping it a ton in the middle of this whole process, but there may be some coffee sipping. So I have my mug. This is I have a set of 4 of these mugs. This is actually a new one. I'm replacing one, but these were a gift from my Aunt Christy, like forever ago, like before I started drinking coffee. And I love them, and they're essentially the only mugs that I use to drink coffee. So I'm slowly trying to actually replace them. So I keep looking on eBay for new mugs. Anyway, this is a channel about embroidery and cross-stitch, other textile crafts, and I want to welcome my new subscribers and welcome back everyone who has been hanging out with me for however long you've been with me. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, you can get kind of sneak peeks at what I'm doing, and you can find me at Dr._Christy. I'll put that right here, and that's where I post kind of my daily activities. And it's also where I post, like, if I'm not going to film on a particular day or whatever. So you can kind of get updates on what's happening with me there. I'm all thrown off because my intro, like I have an intro that I didn't do. So I have 3 FFOs. Well, 2 of them are finished for now, but they're finished and I'm using them as they are. I have a couple of whips. I don't have any new starts. I have a bunch of plans. I have a fabric, a pretty significant fabric haul, both cross-stitch fabric and project bag fabric. I went to the thrift store, so I have some fun stitchy stuff from the thrift store. I have the giveaway winner this week from last week. And I'm going to talk about sort of progress on my history project, which I'll talk about at the very end. So if you're not interested in that, you can skip it. First of all, though, I want to tell you why it's Saturday and not Friday. We've been having really bad thunderstorms all week. And whenever there's a bad thunderstorm, I'm always like, this is a really bad thunderstorm. That's okay. It'll end quickly because it'll wear itself out. That has not been the case. We've been having house shaking thunderstorms every day this week, Tuesday through today. We've already had one today, and they last hours, like 5, sometimes 10 hours. I don't mind thunderstorms, but I have a tiny little terrier who is terrified of thunderstorms, and the way he feels good about thunderstorms, I mean, as good as he can possibly feel about thunderstorms, is he either hides under my legs or he like hides next to me and I have to like hold him, and he's in a thunder shirt. Like, we do all the stuff. I don't want to drug him because it makes him really confused. He doesn't seem happy. So the thunder shirt helps a ton, but you still have to like be there for him, and it's hard to get stuff done. So this is like the only time when I have any kind of inkling of what it's like to have children. Right? Like, I have a dog, but he's not a child. He's currently hiding under the bed, and I can leave him there. He can stay under the bed, and that's okay. With kids, you kind of have to watch them. I sometimes have people ask me how I get done all the things that I have done, and my answer is, I don't have kids, right? I don't have to worry about that. But when thunder's happening, I have to be all over this dog, and I feel like I wouldn't get very much done if I had kids. Or maybe I would cope with it better. Like you have strategies, right? You have those skills, and I just don't have those skills. Anyway, so that's why it's Saturday instead of Friday, because thunderstorms. All yesterday evening, all day Thursday, all day, most of the day Wednesday, I think on Tuesday as well. I mean, like, major thunderstorms. And then this morning, and we're going to have another one. I'm sort of recording between thunderstorms. So I haven't gotten a lot done this week. If it didn't get done Saturday, Sunday, or Monday, it really didn't get done unless it was absolutely necessary to get done. So I don't have much stitching to talk about, and I won't have much history to talk about at the end, but I am still going to do a history report because that's like the deal. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, wait until the end and we'll get there. Let's talk about FFOs. Because I have 2 that I was expecting that I mentioned last week, and then I have one that I wasn't expecting. My first FFO is my Sea Monsters sampler. And this is a pattern that I designed, and it is available for purchase if anyone's interested. It's a really fun stitch. I really enjoyed stitching it, and I love it, and it's done. And this is finished for now because it's all kind of just pinned in, and I left this piece of rope hanging as like a accent for the photo shoot. Here's a picture from the photo shoot, and I think it looks adorable. So last week I said I was going to do a giveaway of this pattern. It's a PDF pattern. You will get two PDF files, a file that is for like printing out. So you can, if you like paper copies, you can do it as a paper copy. But I also have a Pattern Keeper compatible file that you can use on Pattern Keeper if you have that program. The winner of this pattern is Jessie Rember. So Jessie, thank you so much for your kind comment. Jessie is also an educator, and so was kind of commiserating with me about how difficult this past academic year has been. And I totally agree. Although I think that you probably had it worse because I was able to just teach fully online. And so I had to deal with the isolation and the building of classes. But man, you had to deal with like multi-medium, like multi-modalities and all sorts of different stuff, and worrying about getting sick and stuff. And I'm so sorry that you had to go through that this academic year. And I really hope that we don't have to deal with this again. But to help you wind down from your difficult academic year, you get to stitch some sea monsters and a ship and a very strange alphabet. I hope that you enjoy it. And I hope that you, I don't know, send pictures to me or, you know, tag me on Instagram if you're on Instagram. You can use the hashtag Christy's Corner, which is, I follow that. So I would love to see your progress on this. It would be really exciting to see someone else stitch this. And if you want any like color ideas, check out my Etsy shop because I posted different color options, just kind of like various color options just to play around with different colors. So that is a giveaway and an FFO. My second FFO is my Lonely Mountain. And I'm not going to sing again, don't worry. But thank you all so much for your kind words about my singing. It's not going to happen very often. I'm so glad that it's done. I love the tiny little smog who has a piece of fabric on him. There we go. Tiny little smog in that red silk. I have not done a photo shoot of this yet, so I will do a photo shoot of this. And then this is going to go off to one of my students, well, one of my ex-students, who is just a lovely woman, and she lives right down the street, and she said that she really loved the one I did. And so I thought I'd make one for her. So that's done. And it's just finished very simply on the back with an extra piece of fabric. So there you go. Those are two of my expected FFOs. My final FFO is stitch related but not stitched. And I made a little pin cushion out of this swan that I got from my grandmother. There we go. Who passed away in March. And so I made it into a little pin cushion, a little blue and white pin cushion. And this has a story. The swan, not the swan. The swan, I think swan is beautiful. I have been planning on making a pin cushion out of this because I don't have a pin cushion in this area. I don't usually sew in this area, so it's not a huge issue, but I basically just like stick pins and stuff in my cones of floss, and that doesn't work. So I decided just to make a pin cushion. This pin cushion is just stuck in there, and it is just fabric and fiberfill. I was hoping to put walnut shells in this because that helps to keep your pins sharp. I can't find my walnut shells. I have a box, an unopened box of like 5 pounds of walnut shells that I cannot find. I have looked everywhere, and I'm a store everything out in the open so that I know it's there, because if I don't see it, I won't use it kind of a person. And so I don't have like closets full of stuff, and I can't find it. Like, I have no idea where this thing is. Anyway, so this is not glued in. It is just shoved in, which will work fine for my purposes because I'm not going to be pulling things out of it. And then I decided to make a little matching tassel. Just, I don't know. Swans totally wear tassels, right? Swans don't wear tassels. Swans are mean, and you can't get a tassel on a mean swan. So that's my second FFO. I'm calling it an FFO, even though it may change if I ever find that box of walnut shells. I'll find them eventually. So those are my finished objects. Fix my bangs. So I have 3 whips to show you today, and they're ones that I have been working on, so you have seen them before. First, I did some more on my Jacobean crewel work class that my fiance got me for my birthday this past year. And I did the connected, I think this is called like a connected chain stitch. I've only ever heard it called like a, oh no, because I think it's different. I was thinking it was a fishbone, but this is different than a fishbone. Oh no, connected fly stitch. It's a connected fly stitch. So if you look, there's like a line down the middle of kind of holding the fly stitch together, and then just a seed stitch over here. So that was two more lessons, and I knew these stitches, but again, it's nice to see other people's techniques, especially from people who have had that level of training, because I'm a self-taught embroidery artist. And so I've used a lot of YouTube videos to try and figure stuff out. But in general, I've just kind of tried to do what works best for me. And so it's nice to see other people's techniques. And so I'm doing it exactly how they tell me to do it, even if it's different than I would normally do it, because I think that's important. So my Jacobean crewel work, pomegranate is mostly done. And I'm starting on the leaf. So that's exciting. So that's my first whip. My second whip that you have seen, you've seen the setup for this whip, and it is my medieval bear stealing some honey. And I'm doing it in multiple fabrics. And I've started stitching down here the green part, because what I want to make sure is that all of this is attached to itself. So basically this has 3 layers of fabric. This has 2 layers of fabric. And then I'm going to work kind of from the top down, because I do want to make sure that this all stays where I want it to stay. And I have my shark fin needle minder, which is really fun. So basically I'm working on these kind of, oops, ooh, this is not professional. These grassy areas here. I'm working on these grassy areas. And then I will continue and sort of, I'll probably do the bee skeps next. And I found, this is a restart, and I found the original one that I did. And so I thought I'd show you that. And I don't know why I lost interest in this. But I kind of started with the bee skeps, and I think they look really cute. And in this, I did just a brick stitch, which is kind of a layered back stitch, a back stitch fill that's kind of like alternating. And I did it in, it looks like a DMC pearl thread, pearl floss. And I think the reason why I didn't like it is because I don't like working with pearl floss. And I just did not enjoy what this looked like, and it just wasn't going the way I wanted it to go. So I just kind of put it down and never picked it up again. And then I decided to start over in this way, and I think that's good. But the thing that I realized, and I clearly realized it when I did this, is that bee skeps, medieval bee skeps, were basically baskets. So I've decided I'm going to do a basket stitch on these bee skeps to make them look like baskets. And I got this idea from my last whip, which is my temperature bookcase. So I am up to date as of last Sunday. I stitched my temperature bookcase with my mom on Sundays. And this is where we were. But I did my first knick-knack. Look at that. I did a little red, it was supposed to be a bowl, but I did a little red basket. And as I was doing this basket, I was realizing how much fun it is to do a woven basket stitch. And then I could do my bee skeps in that, and it would make me really happy. So I'm going to do that. This temperature pattern, this temperature library pattern, is one that I designed, and it's available. This is what it's going to look like at the end in the embroidery version. And then I also have a cross stitch version that looks like this, and those are also available in my Etsy shop along with my Sea Monster sampler. So if you're interested in any of those, you can find them all there. But I'm pretty pleased. That's the first knick-knack that I've put in. The next one I'm going to put in is this landscape, and that will be very fun. And then this month we have a clock. So this is June. There we go. There's my temperature bookcase. And this is being stitched. I'm not telling you anything. The pomegranate's being stitched on the kit stuff in Appleton wool, and the fabric is a linen twill, heavy linen twill upholstery weight. My bee and bear is being stitched on the red is Kona cotton, the off-white is linen, and then the backing is a cotton muslin. And this is being stitched on a linen yardage, 100% linen yardage. And this is being stitched all in DMC. The bear is being stitched in a whole bunch of different things. And like I said, the pomegranate is being stitched in the kit Appleton wool. If you have any questions about any of that, please let me know. I'm happy to talk about what I'm stitching on and how I'm stitching. Any questions you have. I think that's all the stitching I've done this week. Oh, I do have I did 2 more rows on my Lindy Stitches hedgehog quilt. I'll post a picture here. This is my progress from last week, but it looks pretty much the same. And it's from Lindy Stitches Hedgehog House. My Stitch Mayhem was to create this into a mosaic quilt. So that's coming along slowly, but it's coming along. I don't have it here with me because I forgot about it, And I think that's it for stitching for this week. Like I said, I just did not get any stitching done like for most of the week. I also, in addition to the storms, I also had to score midterm exams. And then I had an unexpected talk that I had to give. I looked at my schedule on Tuesday and I'm like, and I'm thinking, oh, I should be giving a resume talk to some high school kids for governor's school at my university soon. What's going on with that? So I looked at my schedule. It was on Thursday. And I'm like, I should contact them because I've heard nothing about this. So I contacted my friend who works over in that office, and she's like, yeah, you should have heard about that. I'm like, I haven't. So then I had to come up with a high school student appropriate talk on resumes that wasn't super boring over Zoom. It was all fine, but it was just kind of like, you know, completing immediate things between thunderstorms was kind of more important than other things. So anyway, I have a lot. I did a lot of shopping. So let's talk shopping. I went to my local thrift store and I got some magazines and a book. I got pressed flowers, decorative projects to enhance the home. And I got this because I feel like a lot of these projects can be done with stitching. And also it tells you how to make a flower / leaf press, which I would like to do because I would like to start stitching on leaves again. So here is the how to make a flower press. But then there's something like a cornflower hanging. Here, I'll show you the end result. Right? Like something like that with stitching would be beautiful. So I just thought it was like $1.50 or something because it's the thrift store. I thought it would be a nice little project thing for me to do. Mostly I got it for the directions on how to make a flower press, how to make your own flower press. I got that, and then I got 2 cross-stitching magazines. These are like 75 cents. So I figured I would get them. There were other ones too, but they didn't have things that I really liked. But I really liked this one, and I like the tree. And so I thought I would pick it up for 75 cents. And it gives me more things to practice with. So, you know, so that's this one. And then I also got the Winter Stitching, same magazine, because I liked this sort of snowy pattern. I loved this landscape. I liked this rose and this here. This one was a really good one. There's a bee right there. I know bees are kind of a thing right now, so I got the bee. And then I think this one is birds. So like 3 birds. So like, I just feel like there's a lot going on in here that I'd be willing to stitch just, you know, to practice. And I have new stitchy fabric. So I need to practice on my stitchy fabric. Because sometimes you just don't want to have to design your own stitching, I'm realizing. Like, that takes a lot of time. And then it's like, I don't know. So I got more things to stitch. And so I had to get things to stitch on, obviously. And so I picked up a couple AAAh grab bags, 2 AAAh grab bags from Color and Cotton. And these are the small pieces. And you don't get to choose what you get. So they are, what is it? 8 by 12. 8 by 12. They don't have names, and I don't know what size they are. It looks like this one's 18 or 20, and then it goes down to 14. So, and everything in between, I think. So I'll play around with those, but we have like a slightly mottled yellowy tan, a slightly mottled sagey green. These are all pretty neutral. I didn't get any like not neutral. This one is a more of a deeper brown, slightly mottled. This is a light terracotta. It's more pink than it's showing to you. A pretty neutral beige. It's a little bit beigeier than it's showing. And this one is sort of a bluey gray. So I got those to stitch on. Now I ordered these before I knew that I was going to get a huge box of stitchy fabric last week. So I have enough stitchy fabric now to last me for a while, which is good. I can play around with things. I can make gifts for people. I can do fun things. And I think that'll make me happy. I also placed an order with DMC because I've been trying to get one of those thread cards with the actual thread in them, and they're always out of stock. And I put my name in to get one, my email address in to like let me know when they're back in stock. I got an email at like 7 o'clock. I didn't get the email until 10. I went on and they were out of stock. I put my email address in again. Long story short, I got one. I'm so excited. And it's better than I could have ever imagined. It's like amazing. Look at this. It's huge. It's huge. It has all the different colors. I'm so thrilled. I'm so thrilled with this. So I was feeling like it was a lot of money, but it's totally worth it. I'm very excited. So I have a thread card now, but things can't travel alone. I've been told things can't travel alone. So I ended up, just for fun, getting stitchable mesh. It's very bright. There we go. And it's essentially a metal, there we go, a metal mesh that is gold on one side and silver on the other side. Because you know what I say, you can stitch on anything. You can stitch on anything that you can get your needle through. That's the amazing thing about embroidery. And I will stitch on that. Then I went to my local fabric store, and I'm going to put a link to them down below, because there was a quilt pattern that was a Jane Austen inspired quilt pattern that had all sorts of different fabrics inspired by them, and a center panel, and also some side panels. They don't have the side panels, but they have everything else. It's out of stock everywhere I've looked, and she has it. Now, the center panel didn't work for what I wanted, so I didn't get any of that, although I might go back and get some of the handwriting fabric. But I didn't get it this past time. Whew, my bangs are a mess. But I did get other fabric. So I'm going to show you the fabrics I got. I got some remnants, and then I got some yardage. I got this remnant, which is adorable bicycles, which I love. This is just a purple pattern. This one was really cheap. I don't know why this one was so cheap, but this one was really cheap. I got just some teal, and it's showing up way bluer because it's not as blue as my shirt. It's greener than my shirt, but it's like a teal. And then I got black. This is just a black cotton because I got this fabric. Isn't that amazing? Oh, I love this. I love this. Isn't that adorable? I just want a project bag out of this. So I got some of that, and then for the inside, and so this will be kind of like the accent for that, but the inside will be this. I might have to go get more of this because this is amazing. This was more expensive, which is why this is going to be the inside, and I didn't get as much of it. I also got 2 other fabrics that I think are amazing, and apparently I'm in like a teal phase because this one I think is beautiful. And look at this. Dragonflies. I don't know if you can tell. I think you can kind of tell, but there's gold in that. So that is what I purchased, my mostly fabric. Oh, and I got this. I was looking at these at Fat Quarter Shop. It's essentially a needle, like a pin cushion and needle storage. And so for traveling, so you can just have all of your needles in like your little lipstick case. So I bought one. I love it. And I'm there, and I'm looking at like all, this is a quilt store, right? So there are all these quilt patterns, but there was this adorable little like gnome applique pattern and kit. I'm like, I want this like gnome applique kit. And I'm like, Christy, you have 85,000 crafts that you're doing. You do not need to start doing gnome applique. Like you're not doing the crafts that you already have supplies for. I have a whole kit of like card weaving that I haven't even tried. I just bought some handmade null binding needles, which is, I'll talk about when they come in. Okay. Like it's like Viking knitting. Like I don't need other things. So I did not get that kit, but I really wanted it. My plans for this coming week are to keep up to date with my temperature library and do either one more knickknack or fill in more of the bookshelf, one of the two. I would like to continue on my other 2 WIPs. I would like to take 2 more classes, 2 more lessons in my Jackie B and Crewel work. Well, 1 or 2. I think that the stitching is going to be longer than has been. So I might just do 1, but I want to at least do 1 more lesson in my Jackie B and Crewel work thing. I want to continue stitching on my bee and bear, and I might, oh, and I didn't bring it, but I did tassel my scarf last week. So I'm going to start working on my scarf. What's it called? I can't think. I'm all discombobulated now. I'm planning on embroidering tiny archers from the Bayou Tapestry, like this guy here, on a scarf, a linen scarf that I made. The scarf has now been tasseled, and I will start working on that, stitching that up this week. I will not have a Tuesday video this week or next week, this coming week or the week after, because my summer class is winding down, and I also score AP exams, which takes up a lot of time, and that's starting I think at the end of next week and into the week after. So I will not have a lot of free time, and the stitching will take up all that. So I would much rather stitch than edit a video, and I enjoy doing both, but I think I kind of am going to want to stitch. But I do have some exciting ideas for videos, so I'm kind of pleased. You'll see what they are. I don't want to give anything away. I think that's it for the stitching content. So if you don't want to hear about history content, it will be very short, even if you do. But if you don't, thank you so much for joining me. For those of you who would like to hear more of my history content, I want to thank you all so much for your kind words about my book and my project that I have to complete in the next 6 months or so. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you can check out the video I posted over here. It was my Tuesday video from this week. And basically, well, check that out. That'll give you a background on my project. I have nothing to report. Essentially, creating that video was my work this week, just because I did not have time to do anything else. And I don't know that I will have very much to report next week, but my plan is to this week get out my dissertation, which you've seen is already out, and read through it again. I haven't read through the whole thing in 5 years, and so read through 6 years and read through it again and kind of mark the places, or mark where the information should go, what I think I can add to it, and kind of annotate the dissertation, since the research the book is coming out of the dissertation research. So that's my plan for this week. I would also like to read an article a day, just to kind of go through the articles that I have, read an article a day, and that will kind of get me up to speed on the work that's being done, although the articles are not super new. So in the next couple weeks, I definitely have to get over to Tuscaloosa to the University of Alabama Library and use their databases, because there is a particular database that they have over there that I just don't have around me. And it's like an hour drive, but it'll give me access to resources that I just don't have here. This is one of the problems with working at like a teaching institution, is that my library is fine for teaching, but it is not fine for like a deep dive into medieval European history. But that's later on after my classes end and I have more time. I just don't have the time right now to go do that, to spend the day out there. But that's my plan. So I will report back to you next week on those goals and see how well I did. Who knows? I'm going to try, but it's going to be a tight, the next 2 weeks are going to be pretty tight. And then it should have more time, which will be nice. So that's it for me. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate you all so much. If you're interested in the Sea Monsters sampler, you can find it in my Etsy shop down below. Jessie Rember, please get a hold of me. You can email me at Christie's Corner Craft. I'll put that right here. And it's also linked down below, I think. Or you can, if you're following me on Instagram, you can message me on Instagram. And I just need your email address, because it's a PDF, 2 PDFs, and I will send them to you when you get a hold of me. So thank you so much for joining me again. I know I just said that. Thank you so much for joining me. It has been great to chat with you this morning. And I am going to edit this and drink my coffee and get it up and hunker down for the next round of storms. So with all that being said, please take good care of yourselves and have a good one. Bye.